Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to Brown Bag Bets. Powered by BetSperts, we are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Mulder. And to bring you a jam-packed Friday show, add a couple extra sports, we're triple teaming it today. Mr. Matt Rooney in the house. There he is, looking good. But we'll start with you, Andy, and Mr. Mock Drafter. You did pretty good, huh?
Yeah, the Huddle Report is one of it's kind of the known site that they grade mock drafts. They don't grade mine personally. They grade the top 100. Apparently, I guess you can apply. Maybe I will. I've done well the past 2 years, but you get a point, and everybody can use their system and do their own grading. It's not like it's some kind of clandestine secret society, but you get a point for getting a person in the first round right. Like if you said, I think this guy goes in the first round and he does, you get a point. And then you get 2 points if you pick a guy to go to the correct team. So like Walker to go first overall to the Jags, it's worth 3 points. And I think the winner this year was 48. It was a tough year. Last year, some people did get into the 50s. And Andy ended up with a 42. So I didn't feel too bad about that, especially considering how bleeping stubborn I was about not putting Aiden Hutchinson second, even though I knew he was going second. So there's 2 more points I could have had, maybe 4 if I get Sauce in the right spot. So I'm not too far off. I felt like it was a good mock. VR was right there. I think he had 41. Solik was right there. So some of the guys I talked to and that did some mocks ended up with some pretty nice scores. More importantly, the money was there. Once Walker went, I was in the black no matter what, but it was a fun draft. Did you guys watch like how fast it went? I don't think I remember a draft. Just like I'm trying to keep up.
Light speed. I noticed that this year though. I liked it better that way. It was like it felt like the picks were going by, and the best thing they did was change that. A couple of years ago they moved it from 15 minutes to 10 minutes, but now it just seemed like they actually announced the picks within 10 minutes instead of 10 minutes and then 5 more to actually announce the pick. I like the pace of it.
Yeah, no, it was the only thing was I didn't know it was going to be that fast, and before I knew that it was that fast, I said, "Hey, I'm going to do a tweet thread of all the picks, and I'm going to grade them." Expecting it, I have Twitter up on so I had to almost keep one Twitter window up just to keep that thread getting it ready, which kept me from other DMs. So I had to open like 3 Twitter windows. I was on my phone too. I was like in my own war room. It was an exciting time. A lot of people reached out, said they had good drafts because of some of the stuff they heard on the deep dive we did the other night and the one before that. So congrats to anyone who did anything with the London to Atlanta thing, even though Atlanta went to London last year. So maybe a little bit of a connection there. And yeah, London at 8 was a really nice one for some people. I know some people got some nice numbers on that, under 10.5. London to go ahead of Hamilton. There was 100 ways to attack that. We attacked them all. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night. And my Vikings got a safety in the last pick. I don't know. They need defense.
That was a weird trade.
It was, but they have another pick coming up at 34, which we'll get into. Your Bears didn't pick anybody. And no, Alex, I know you're not a big Eagles fan, but you are from Philly. They made hay. Like
they had a great night.
The Jets had a really good night, but the Eagles, if you count stuff that happened outside of the draft, the Eagles really, really cleaned up. Love Quay Walker. Obviously love AJ Brown. Like good job, Philadelphia. Honestly, the Giants did good. Like the Cowboys kind of have to be worried a little. Those teams are adding.
It was a good night overall, right, for the NFC East. You look at the Eagles, they finally that went from a mediocre receiving core to a good receiving core overnight. I mean, that's to pick up AJ Brown. You get to put him next to Devontae Smith. That's going to be a lot of fun. I guess they'll finally get to see, how good Jalen Hurts is. That'll be kind of interesting. I can't remember what was the defensive tackle they drafted. I mean, he looks just like a perfect
Jordan Davis. Cox. Yeah, that's what I meant.
He's going to slide right in there. That's going to be fantastic for them. So good draft for the Eagles overall. It was fun. I mean, it's mostly fun because I think we had like 4 of the first 5 picks kind of nailed down. So at that point, it's good. But yeah, Eagles fans on the radio, they're excited this morning. We've got receivers in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, that's something they've bitched about for years. And yeah, I said Quay Walker. I meant your guy there, the
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
And not only that, like it was a very shrewd move because Jordan Davis was highly linked to the Baltimore Ravens at 14. Like if they didn't move up, they weren't getting him. So not only that, they cucked another team by jumping up. I love that when they go one spot ahead and get them. That's just a fun move. So I'll get into it because we've got picks in like 7 different sports right now. So I'll get into it tonight. Cook, running back under. I have 15 bets somehow already for the second, third, and fourth round. And some of them are off the board. Some of them are from yesterday. But Cook under 69, under 68 and a half. I don't like doing this with like this position, but he's been linked. Drew said it the best. I'll give Drew the credit here. Although I'd already clicked on it anyway based on somebody else playing it. He was linked a little to Kansas City, who maybe was going to fill this need in the first round, did not. They have a pick before this. There's some other people playing this. This is going to come down, I think. So Cook under 69, and then the Willis under 35 and a half at minus 110. I'm going to see if that's even available anymore. I know there's been some heavy steam on just him to go 34. There's talks of a trade. There's talks of, people know he's going at 34 already. I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure if you can find this anywhere. I played under 35 and a half at a few places. There's talk of either Minnesota is taking him at 34 or they have traded to a team that likes him. That is maybe the most unique part about this draft. We only had 1 quarterback in the whole first round. Very, very, very weak quarterback class. So Willis under 35, you can still find it. Or if you can find a rogue number on him to go at 34, I know that's down to even money or off the board at some places. But if you have maybe a lagging paperhead, those numbers started at 15 to 1 this morning. So that got bet to the bejesus belt this morning already is what happened. If books thought they weren't going to take action on round 2 stuff, they were dead wrong apparently. So I'm excited. I'm pissed that it doesn't just start at noon. Gotta wait till 7 Eastern. Yeah, so it's gonna be told. I know this round will go even faster, but this is gonna go pretty late. And I got a Timberwolves game to watch tonight.
Why compete with all that other stuff? You could own Friday afternoon. It's Friday. Get on there. That thing should start at like 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Exactly. I'm with you there. So
NFL stinks.
It does.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, it's fine. It
just annoys me. The
I do
NFL
enjoy
causes me more aggravation than anything.
It annoys me how much it controls my life and just still owns me despite how often I want to say it doesn't.
We wouldn't bring Matt on here and let him get away with not betting hockey. Even though when I did, I said, hey, like, can you even bet on these games? Like, or should you? I know there's so much, and I won't get into that if we talk about the annoyance of the NFL. The annoyance of the NHL and how they seed and put together the playoff matchups based on these divisions is fucking stupid. First off, it really creates a lot of dead games. Mm-hmm. But you found some props and bets anyway, so we'll let you rip on this last day.
They did this whatever it was like 5-6 years ago to try and make like divisional rivalries seem to mean more. But I think what it's kind of done is just make these playoff matchups like redundant. Now you don't ever like the Central Division doesn't play the Pacific Division in the playoffs most of the time now, unless it's a first round matchup versus a wild card that's usually a blowout or a conference final, obviously. But you don't see those like natural rivalries start to form like a Blackhawks Canucks rivalry was like 10 years ago. So that's annoying. But yeah, there are some games on tonight's slate. The whole league is playing. And yeah, like Andy was saying, didn't think there was much to bet on. I found a few things. Took a homer prop that I like.
Love it.
And I also have a favorites money line. The homer prop has some legs to it. I'm going to start with Patrick Kane's over 3.5 shots on goal at minus 118. They're playing in Buffalo, with his hometown. He has played pretty well against the Sabres, and especially in Buffalo throughout his career. He's got 25 points through 19 games and has 81 shots on goal. in 19 career games against Buffalo. So that's 4.2 shots per game. Obviously, their last game of the season, things haven't gone very well. I have a feeling Patrick Kane's probably going to want to end the season with a little bit of a show, or at least try to put one on. I think you'll see him rack up like 5, 6, 7 shots on goal tonight, because he's one of the only people that actually can play very well on the Hawks. And then a money line parlay of some favorites here. This has been bouncing around anywhere from the parlay itself has gone from like 240 at times to 220 back to 230. So right around that range is where I like it. But the Lightning, they're trying to avoid a loss tonight and a Bruins win. Gives the Lightning a first-round matchup with the President's Trophy winning Panthers, who we've talked about on the podcast. Hockey fans know they're really good. They're probably the best team in the NHL, right there with Colorado. Lightning are going to want to avoid that. A win tonight gives them that win tonight, possibly a point. So if they get to overtime, possibly, but a win tonight secures that they will not see the Panthers in round one. They are at the Islanders. The Islanders haven't been very good this year, so the Lightning motivated. I like them. The Blues are at home against a Vegas team that has just kind of been completely demoralized over the last few weeks. They've had a terrible second half of the season since the trade deadline, since the All-Star break. They missed out on the playoffs thanks to a shootout loss to the Blackhawks a couple nights ago for the first time in franchise history. So that's a down team. While the Blues, it's an outside chance, but a win tonight and a wild loss at home against Colorado gives them, I believe, the tiebreaker and gives them home ice advantage in that first round series with Minnesota. So I like the Blues motivated against a Vegas team that's probably pretty demoralized. And the Stars with a win tonight and a Predators loss means they avoid Colorado in the first round, which is something you want to do at all costs because Colorado is really good. Nashville is the last game of the night. They play in Arizona, so the Stars play 2 hours earlier at home against Anaheim. So they have something to play for in that one. They're going to try and win it, obviously, and they're going to do their best to avoid Colorado. Whether or not they do will not be decided till later in the night. So since they don't know their fate till after their game, you expect them to come out pretty motivated. So 3 teams, 3 pretty heavy favorites, all close to like minus 200, minus 180. Really like those 3 tonight. Pretty good payout there, plus 225, plus 230.
I can dig it. Everybody's playing in the NHL. Quite the opposite dynamic in the NBA, though, Andy. Just one game.
All the series got over. Like they're games 5s and game 6s. If they were elimination games, they did not go right. And some asshole in here thinks that trend continues.
You're not going? You're not going to go down there, fight your way down? I mean, how bad is it? Is it $300 just to get in the building?
Yeah, it's expensive. It's more than game. Which game did I go to? Game 4. So yeah, the tickets are considerably more than game 4, and they've switched the time a couple times now. And my mother-in-law's coming to town, so I shouldn't be that guy that I gotta head out of town. So I will just watch it this evening. Hopefully she's back to her hotel by then. But yeah, the draft and the Timberwolves game. Kind of a good night. Kind of a good Friday
night. Nice night for Andy.
I picked up some beers yesterday for the draft. I have some left over, so but I'm gonna get excited and I'm gonna cheer the one time I guess to cheer against Noops. Unless it's late, my team's getting the shit beat out of them, then I will hope they don't screw it up for you.
I understand. I just think it's going to be a tough sledding for a Minnesota team that has really just enjoyed some outlier performances from Memphis. Minnesota wins the first game while Memphis shoots only 45% from the field, 26% from 3. We started to see some things balance out. The other Minnesota victory, they have a free throw advantage of 40-25 and still only win that game by 1. But things are starting to balance out a little bit. In general, though, it's been a great series, and there's a lot of variance here. As much as I like the Grizzlies to win this game, I'm going to take a -1.5. I'm closer to -3.5, -4. But you look at this series, every other series in the playoffs has a pace generally in the 90s, maybe a game or two where the pace is all the way up to 100. But the Minnesota-Memphis series is absolutely an outlier. 105, 102, 100, 103 at a pace as high as 107 last game with at least 20 turnovers in every single game. The ball is moving up and down the floor, and it just leads to a game where a lot of crazy things could happen. But as I look at the series and start to go back to watch some of the games, the Grizzlies have figured a few things out that I think they really got a handle on things in the last game. game. They finally went back to doing a better job with turnovers, doing a better job offensive rebounding. They had 18 more possessions than the Timberwolves, and I think we see something similar to that tonight. Maybe Minnesota at home can put up enough points to keep this thing interesting, but I think the Grizzlies finally have gotten a little bit of a hold on this and close things out tonight. So if you want, take the money line. It's -120, -125, but don't be a coward. Lay the 1.5. It's fine.
I like that. Don't be a coward. I mean, that's kind of it though. I would never take the money line here. I'd sell it to 2.
I did. I played 2 at -105, but everyone else has 1.5. That's fine.
I was gonna say that's noopsian to do that too. So, golf is being played apparently. Didn't catch much of it. Dan has been watching it. He says it's pretty bad too. I got 1-1 on the daily stuff yesterday. My regular stuff.
Is this what I should be watching this afternoon? I guess
not. No. My matchups are doing okay. It looks like it's just a break-even tournament, which should be just fine.
Let's take a nap.
Oh, although I did, not jokingly, I just put $50 on it, but it was John Rahm at 5-1 to win the tournament, parlayed with the Dallas Mavericks series price after Game 4, which was like -130. So I have like a John Rahm 9.5 to 1. So I'm
Take it.
I'm forced to cheer for John Rahm to win this tournament at this point because the Dallas Mavericks have moved on. So I have a nice ticket on him. That said, I bet against him today anyway because this is a price I can't agree with. Like, he's the best golfer in the world. He's great. It's been a little rough for him lately. I'm going to start with the second one, but Aaron Wise shot 65 yesterday. He looked good doing it. It's going to be a little more difficult in the afternoon. We saw that the winds do kick up here in the afternoon in Mexico. It's not crazy winds, but there's a big difference from morning to afternoon. And I can't quite get to +155. Rahm should be like a -125. I don't know. Maybe not even that much. Like, he's playing great. It's just a really big name. If you've our friend from the golf Slack chat, AD, he's just been betting against Rahm almost not blindly, but almost blindly for the season because he gets so much respect in his name, and just all it takes is losing 1 or 2 matchups and you get big plus numbers on him. It's been working out. So I'll cheer for Rahm to be okay today and Wise to be a little better at that price. And then Wyndham Clark, I have not understood the love for Wyndham Clark.
Not Wyndham Earl.
Not Wyndham Earl. Oh my God. Was that a Twin Peaks reference?
It was, yes.
Wow.
I think I've done this a couple times when we talked about Wyndham Clark when he pops up on the show once or twice a year. I can't but help myself. The only other Wyndham I know is a hotel, I think.
I haven't. The town next to me growing up was named Wyndham, Minnesota. We were combined with them for some sports, so spelled differently. But this Wyndham, I think he stinks. Like, I don't know. My numbers just don't
Technically
suss
speaking.
out. Yeah, from an analytical standpoint, I think the guy sucks at golf. But the market has not agreed with me on that. I'm looking what he shot yesterday. Why doesn't Control F want to work? Oh, it's loading. I made it complicated.
I think he was like 3 under yesterday. Wyndham Clark was.
Yeah, he shot 3 under. I think he had an early tee time, so you got to play it in the morning there. And CT Pan's kind of been my rock lately. This guy is playing well. I've bet him a few different places, and he just approach game god. He's a good second shot guy, and getting this price, basically it's even. They have some heavy overlay on golf, so that's like 116, 114. So he's just a slight favorite, but I love that one too. So Pan over Clark and Wise over John Rahm, +155. And that'll be it for golf. Taking it pretty light.
I can dig it. I like it. Now, we're going to continue back in the order here. Sports is there afternoon baseball? Can I watch baseball this afternoon, Matt?
Probably somewhere, I would imagine. I honestly didn't quite look at when the game started. I would imagine there's probably an afternoon game somewhere. The Cubs aren't at home, so that's not going to be an afternoon one. Probably. Your Phillies, though. Your Phillies are on a little bit of a roll. I think I sparked them on Tuesday when I picked that over and said the bats were going to wake up. They went out and swept the Rockies.
I can dig it. The weather's getting nicer out here, and I did look. It looks like they're all stupid night games. Nobody wants anybody to watch anything on TV this afternoon.
I don't know why. Give us some afternoon sports. It's basically summer now, but lighter on the baseball picks. I'll be totally honest with you. Kind of forgot I had baseball picks on this show. Thought it was just hockey, and I came up with one here later. Obviously, going with the White Sox. They host the Angels tonight, beginning a 4-game series. Going with the first 5 under 3.5. Both teams aces so far this year on the mound. I know Shohei Ohtani is the big name, but Noah Syndergaard's been fantastic. He's been probably their best pitcher so far this year. He's on the mound for the Angels. The Sox haven't hit very well this year. Lucas Giolito's on the mound for the White Sox. He was really good in his return from the IL against Minnesota the other day. He was really good in his opening day start. He's pitched well against Anaheim throughout his career. Weather's still kind of cold, so I like the first 5 under there. With 2 aces on the mound, cold weather, Anaheim. Are they Anaheim or are they Los Angeles? They're Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
I think it's just back to LA. I don't even think it's
the LA
LA
Angels.
of Anaheim.
Whatever. They're playing in Chicago now. They're not necessarily. They've been playing out west all year, so here's a little bit of cold weather to go play in. I'm expecting a slow start to that one, and then I didn't get it on the graphic, but I do have a total bases prop in that one. Jake Berger, who is the White Sox rookie third baseman, he's been filling in for Yohan Moncada so far this year. One of their better prospects headed into the season. He's had a very good start to the year. He's had a really good last couple games. Gone over two or more total bases in the last, I think 3 of the last 4, and he's making really good contact with the ball. It seems like that ball is kind of deadened a little bit to start this year, he's been hitting that ball to the warning track quite a bit. He still has a couple home runs, but he's been making really good contact, seeing it really well. And in a lineup that's struggling but has a lot of big names, he's often one that pitchers forget about here and there. So I like him at almost 2-1 to go over that 2+ total bases mark. It's the value there with how he's hitting the ball. It's a no-brainer to take for me.
Take it. I like it.
So I gave you an under, but I balanced it with a 2-1 total bases prop.
Yeah, I need the White Sox to win today. I have one of my survivor teams.
Don't do that for now.
They'll
be fine eventually, but it's not good right now.
I know. Well, I put my whole survivor thing together before the season starts. That's the whole point of how I do it. So I kind of expect some teams to at least hit a baseline of, and so I have three entries, and it was 2 with San Diego, which is already advanced, 1 with Chicago. So I might take my first strike of the year with goddamn the White Sox, who are sitting, what are they, 1
Couldn't
and
beat
2?
The Royals at home.
That's the part. Like I really, really expected that part to kind of go a little better for me here. Let's look at the pool info, pool rules, weekly pick summary. Like, who has the White Sox? I'm just looking for the White Sox record so far this week. Yeah, they're 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Gotta have this one tonight. Otherwise, we need a weekend sweep. So, cheering for the White Sox, that never feels good. Gross. And like I said, we had six sports we're going to bet
Football,
on today.
Hockey, basketball, golf, baseball.
Close it out with tennis.
Odd-shaped balls, big balls, pucks.
Fuzzy balls.
Fuzzy balls.
Yeah, and
Bunch of tennis
an
today.
old favorite. I am excited when I saw this slip.
It looks like Coco Golf overs are back. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in the first round. Had her against Shmedlova. I thought Shmedlova could put up a little bit of a fight, but we're going back here. Goff, Putin, Seva over 21. It might be 20.5. It might be 21. Go ahead and play it. If you want to sell it up to 22 for plus money, do that. Thought about playing over 2.5 sets. The best price I saw there was plus 160. I was hoping for something closer to plus 170. If you happen to find a plus 170 or better, go ahead and take over 2.5 sets there. Goff has been playing very well. My only concern really here is that Goff just continues this ascension on these courts where in altitude her power translates a little bit better. Maybe this is a blowout, but Putintseva is not someone who generally gets run off a court. Even when it's a much better player here, I think we're looking at least 175, maybe a 7-6 there in the first set. We'll probably look to play some set overs live, but like the total there. And then Buskova Ystremska. Now this one's 21. juice to hell or 21.5, maybe about standard juice most places. See if you can find a 22 at plus money. Buzkova Yastrzemska matches tend to go very, very long. Another spot where I thought about taking the over 2.5 sets, but just couldn't find the price that I liked. Mahova Bencic over 21, should be 21 just about everywhere. And then a big dog here. Didn't get Dodan this morning. She couldn't quite get things done. More competitive second set against Rybakina, but needed a little better in the first. Either way, we'll go back to the well here against Ekaterina Alexandrova. Alexandrova, a very good player, someone I backed a lot over the years, but generally doesn't play this well on clay. And for whatever reason, her serve is clicking really well this week, and just seems to be getting a lot more credit than I think she deserves. Patisas Diaz is someone who's done very well for us. We backed her as an underdog a bunch of times. She's very comfortable on clay and very comfortable at altitude. She doesn't mind, kind of the thin air and that extra fitness requirement that it puts on you. So we'll grab her in the money line in the 5 game. So a bunch of tennis. All of this should be very early tomorrow morning. Again, the order of play is not out, but the earliest these will start is around 5 a.m. Eastern. A little tennis and coffee for Andy.
The OOP. Yeah, it looks like it might be. I wanted to shoot some hoops tomorrow, but looks like a rainy day in Minnesota, so it might be a shooting hoops on Nintendo or just watching some movies.
Still getting shots up, doesn't matter.
Caught some. Started Yellowstone with the wife. We're in. It's a good show. I didn't catch any of it yet, so I'm still in the first season. No spoilers, guys.
Only one show that matters.
Winning time.
Sunday night.
I can't wait for Sunday night. Waiting all week for Sunday night. I should replace her. Honestly, I'm pretty good at that. Griffin Hatton says, nothing like playing at Heron Lake. He must know the area. Heron Lake, a couple towns over from Wyndham. There's a little town in between called Wilder, which people have stupid jokes about because Wyndham's wild, but the next town over. And Heron Lake, man, it has been a long time. You know what? They named their school something weird. You know what their mascot was? The Quasars. The Quasars.
What's a quasar?
It's like a black hole or
stars.
It's space.
Oh.
Yeah. The weirdest mascot I've probably ever heard. It's like one of those AAA baseball team mascots you would pick, but this was back in the 90s. So I digress. I thank Matt for hopping in, giving us some bonus Pick-a-Palooza Friday. Alex is always bringing the heat with the tennis. I don't remember if he made an NBA pick or not. Kind of blacked out during that section. And best of luck to me with my golf and NFL. Thanks.
To me.
Hit the thumbs up. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully everything works out for you and yours. See ya.